All right, so we got this '99 Volkswagen Jetta TDI in here. Problem is the cooling fans aren't coming on, and my friend contacted me. Said he put a new fan control module in it, and they still weren't coming on. So he wanted me to take a look at it. So I think I found what the problem is, but I'll kind of go through my process here and let you know or show you what my process was and possibly find the problem, which was pretty obvious when I pulled it up. But anyway, they don't make the control module super easy to get to on these Volkswagens, but I'll show you that and show you what I might have found. All right, so here's the wiring diagram for the fan setup on this '99 Jetta. What you have here, here's that coolant fan module that he already replaced yesterday, put a brand new one in. And I was kind of looking at, I checked the power and grounds, what they showed in the fuse. There's one fuse inside the car, and there's a couple fuses under or outside by the battery. I checked those; they all had power. So you look at here, the power goes through this fan control thermal switch, and then goes on to the fans. These are the fans, left and right fan, and I have power coming down to this switch, so I jumped this switch here, and the fan still didn't come on. There's no power off this switch, so I went ahead and pulled this out of the wheel well, and we're gonna pull this out and check it out, see if there's power going to this control module, because I don't think it's putting out power. I don't think the control module is putting out power where it should be to turn these fans on. So either the control module or the wiring issue in here. So we're going to tackle that and see what we find. All right, so we're under the hood here. That fan control module is actually, you see those two bolts right here. Whoops, kind of hard to get to. Let me grab something to show you exactly what two bolts I'm talking about. All right, I got a screwdriver. I'm just going to kind of put it down in there. You got this bolt here. It's a Phillips, but it's also a 10 mil, and there's a bolt right here. So you take these two bolts out. That's what holds that control module to the battery tray underneath here. So just take those loose and then pull that control module out. All right, so here's the control module. And the first thing I noticed right away is we got a broken wire right here. I haven't looked at the wiring diagram, but this is a big, thick red wire. So I think we already found our problem. It's a little challenging to get to. It's kind of in a bad spot here, but we're going to peel back some of this, and then we'll cut off some of this. Maybe put some new wire in here and solder it, and then we'll retest everything and see if we fix the problem on it. But yeah, I got a feeling that is one of the main power feeds for this control module. Because you got a few, it's like this one's a little burnt too. It really sucks that you can't, there's not a lot of room in here. I may end up pulling the battery out to solder this and repair this. But you have, this is probably the power feed to this module, and then you have all the wires going out back to the fans and the thermal switch and all that. So, yep, we're going to have to get this fixed no matter what, and then I'm guessing that's probably going to fix our whole problem. Of course, we'll check it out, but yeah, I think, I don't know, I might have to pull this battery tray out and get more room under here. But anyway, I'll get back with you after we repair this wire. This might be a little easier than I thought it was going to be, diagnostic-wise. Sometimes the simple things like that, it looks like it's just corroded. Usually when you see these green, crusty, when the wires are real green and crusty, that's from corrosion. I don't know, it's underneath the battery. Maybe I've also seen where there's a little bit of corrosion here too. I've also seen, if you have an older battery, I had a Nissan one time, not that long ago, it wouldn't start, and the battery actually leaked down on the neutral safety switch wiring and shorted it out. So it's possible maybe that the battery, it leaked at one time onto this. I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm going to figure out the best plan of attack on getting access to this because you can see it's, I mean, it looks close in the camera here, but when you stand up, it's just kind of down in there. The radiator's in the way and the battery and all that stuff. So anyway, I'm going to repair that and then we'll retest it. All right, so I went ahead and removed the battery and the battery tray. It's pretty easy. There's just 4 bolts in here, 10 mil, and put the battery out, and that gives you quite a bit more access. So now you can see the world's wide open now. So I just didn't want to solder and do all that. It's going to be a little bit challenging anyway because this wire is pretty short. We're corroded on this end. There's still a decent amount left, but of course you'd want to have more. But this one's pretty crusty, pretty far back. So what we're going to do on this is just open this up, this tape up, and check these wires out a little bit better. And we'll probably add a little bit of wire because this all feels pretty rough and crusty here. So we'll get that completely out. And here you can see the whole module now. So anyway, yep, I think this is probably what's going to end up being the problem. So I'm just going to peel back this here, and then we'll solder in some new wire, and we'll give it a shot. All right, so I took out about that much wire. It was pretty, I don't know, it looks like someone's been messing with this in the past. It had some opens in the wire. There's like one here and a couple there. It was pretty rough. So I cut all that out. It wasn't much. And then I replaced it with, 14 gauge wire, which is about what this is. And I soldered it back together and rewrapped it with tape, the tape that we took off. I would have liked to have this end a little bit longer. It was kind of hard to work with because it was so short. But it's all soldered up, heat shrinked, and then taped up. So anyway, we'll plug it back into this module here, hook the module up, and put the battery back in, and then we'll see if the fans kick on. My guess is they're going to, but we'll go through the process. Anytime you do something like this, always solder it. Don't just butt connector it or put tape on it. So anyway, yeah, I didn't show that process because it's kind of hard to hold the camera and solder it all at the same time. Anyway, I'll put this back together and then I'll pick back up and we'll see what happens with these fans. All right, so I was looking a little closer at this wiring diagram. That thermal switch, the fans will still kick on without that. I didn't look at it close enough. The control module does go, it will go past that and feed into the 2 fans. So, but that did have power going to it from the fuse. And we did check powers coming into the module. So anyway, I got it back together. We'll go over there and see if it works. All right, so I got the battery back in, the module's plugged back in. So we're just going to turn the key on and see if those fans kick on. Go ahead. And they're kicked on. So that wire, go ahead and kick them off. Go ahead and kick them off. And the way to kick those on, of course, is have your AC button on. That'll kick them on with the key on. It should on most cars. It does anyway. This car does. So anyway, that wire was the problem with it. Sometimes you get lucky, but visual inspection, which on this car, visual inspection would be pretty rough. Pulling that out, it's like I said, it's under the battery tray there. So anyway, we followed the wiring diagram, checked powers to everything first. And then we started getting a little deeper into it, found that wire, and obviously it was corroded. So anyway, that's about it on a VW. Now that fan control module, from my understanding, goes out quite a bit. So an easy way to check that would be to check and make sure that connector that we had off when we soldered, check and make sure there's power going into that. And then you would look at your wiring diagram and make sure there's power going out. If there's no power going in, then you know that it's not the module. And if there's no power going out, then you might have a module problem. Of course, we didn't have to go that deep on it this time, so this video is just kind of a basic diagnostics here on the fans on this Jetta. So anyway, we're going to get this Hoopty button back up all the way and get it back on the road, and we'll see you on the next one. And I appreciate you watching the video. Thanks.